It's the 300-hour final. Little Rugrats reference for you. Welcome to the LYT Yoga Mind-Body Balance class. This class is for really anyone working in the office, but particularly we have dedicated it to those of you who work in the administrative role of the office. My wife, Allie, has been an administrator for a number of years. And over that time, we have kind of identified just some of those positions that she tends to find herself in. And so talking through that and just kind of noticing some of her tightnesses, this class is dedicated towards helping to restore a little bit of balance from that seated position, from the rounding, all the typing, even that tightness that you might be feeling around the neck and up into the wrist. And particularly with administrators, because it is a job where, you're constantly planning ahead. The next thing, things are always changing. You're always looking to the future. This class is really dedicated towards giving you a little bit of balance where you're seated a lot more during the day. Your mind is constantly racing, thinking about the next thing, even anticipating sometimes for people, almost reading minds at times. And we'll converse that and flip that on its head today by moving the body and using that movement to cultivate stillness in the mind and that sense of being here right now. So this class is intended as either like a private that you would do with somebody who is in that administrative role, or maybe would come in and do it for the administrators and everybody in an office setting. Now, because that neck gets so tight, it's really nice to have at least one yoga block for everybody in class. Of course, as always, if you have two, grab two. So I'm going to hand you that yoga block. And if you come down all the way onto your back, Allie, we'll get you laying with your feet walked in. And we're going to take our block on the low height and wide setting. So with that right underneath your skull, you're going to take it like a little pillow. And yeah, move your ponytail aside. If there's a ponytail in the way there, anything like that. And we're just going to work this block so that it is just at like the base of the skull here. So can you just feel where your neck meets the skull, and you'll just allow your head to just kind of rest right on the edge, almost as if you're getting like just that little bit of tractioning into it. Does that feel pretty good for you there? Awesome. And then you can just allow the shoulders to release, to relax, allow your hands to rest on your body. You can face the arms up at the ceiling, whatever feels good for you here. So for many of us, we're working at that computer and that head ends up forward. We get a little bit short in the neck. This is just helping us restore a little bit of balance, a little bit of length into it. And begin this practice of coming into the moment by breathing here. So take this really full inhale. And I like to think of it as a 360-degree breath coming from the front to the back, side to side, from top to bottom. And while you're breathing here, again, just allowing for a little bit of stretch, a little bit of length to come into the neck. How's that feeling for you there? Awesome, really good. So take another full breath in, really nice. And as you exhale, you'll just sigh that out, really good. Shoulders feeling good, and that little external rotation. Again, I'll just kind of come by. I'm just gonna get you just a little bit more signaling to get that release. We'll take one more just like that. And then from here, you're welcome to keep that stillness and just that stretch of the neck. Otherwise, begin just to give yourself a gentle nod of the head. You'll bring your chin all the way to the left shoulder, and then taking it back through center, you'll bring your chin all the way to the right shoulder. So just doing that a few times here, going back and forth, getting that release and length into the back of the skull. And if it feels good to have that rotation over to say one side, maybe the right or the left, feeling a little bit more rigidified for you, you're welcome to stay there for a bit to really feel that breath in there. And I'll even take this block and just help it be steady for you there so that you can get that nice little traction into it. Is this feeling good for the neck? Feels okay, awesome. Any noises going on?
Not that I can tell.
Okay, all right, it's quiet, that's good. Maybe too quiet.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, she says, we'll see. All right, let's take another big breath here. Awesome, and exhale. Go ahead, sigh that all the way out. Really nice. So now we're going to gently remove this block. And if you could just take one hand behind your skull too to help to support that, we're going to slide that block out from underneath your skull and bring it in between your legs. Now you can go either with the narrow setting or the wide setting, whatever feels best for you here. And laying on the ground, you'll just allow, again, that back of the skull to come onto the floor, the shoulders and the sacrum. So again, bringing that mind-body balance here by finding a little bit of the reverse from where we're usually at, creating a little bit of movement to find stillness. So you'll just want to find, again, that medium or probably narrow setting for the block, one of those. Squeeze into it so that you can feel some awakening for the hips. How's that feel? Stabilizing for the pelvis? Awesome. She gives me the nod of yes. So squeeze into this block. We're going to press into our feet and activate the glutes, get a nice big lift up off the ground. So we're going from just finding this alignment of our skull, our shoulders, our hips, all in line. And now we're coming up into just this little low bridge. And let's begin to give a little love and attention to the forearms. So take your hands up towards the ceiling. I want you just to spread them out like you're going to give the ceiling a high five. And then we can start with your right wrist here. So we'll take your left hand across the four fingers of your right wrist and just pull on back on that. Really nice. She's doing a really good job here. So just allowing this palm to open up a little bit, or even letting that thumb move away from the center of the palm. Take a nice full breath in there. How are the glutes feeling in this little bridge lift? All right, good. They're firing up for us. Nice. Take another full breath, just like that. And we're going to start a little wrist mobilization. What we'll do is release the right wrist, make a little fist with the right wrist, and then flex it down and then extend it. So you're taking it down with that fist, back up, getting a little point down towards where the knees, the block are, and taking that fist and just pulling it back into that extension, helping just to mobilize a little bit more. And let's take that a little further, just little wrist circles here. So just let that wrist circle mobilize that area. We're just restoring a little bit of that fluid, a little bit of that movement, again, to that area that's maybe been stuck for us, a little bit rounded over. And go the other way too. So make sure you get that second direction with the wrists. Good. Keep feeling that press. Awesome. How's your block feeling? Ooh, it's secure. Nice. And then let's go ahead and just slow that wrist down, but you'll take that left hand to the forearm and just from your elbow up to the wrist, just going to give yourself a little gentle rotation, nothing super aggressive, but just taking that tissue of the forearm and giving a little massage here. So working at that computer, doing a lot of typing, our forearms can get really rigid for us. That's why it's so important as you're working throughout the day, taking that moment to read the email, that long email, they changed the appointment. Oh, we got to read what the stipulation is. So you can get a little bit of forearm massage in there when you're doing that. Okay, let's switch. Actually, first, bring your arms down and let's bring you all the way down. We're gonna get you a little bit of hip external rotation. So that's another thing too, right? Those hips really stuck in that flexion at the desk, right? So a little bit of hip space will probably feel good. Wiggle your feet together there, Allie, on the instep. And just separate your knees about like 45 degrees. So you have like a little bit of an external opening there. And then press into the outside edge of the feet, activate those glutes and extend those hips on up. So feel a little hip extension there. Awesome. How's that feeling for you there? Good. And so you'll take your left wrist up and let's start to pull back on the left wrist, get that nice extension. Awesome. Yes. Wow. This thumb even seems like it has a little bit more trouble spreading out than the other hand. No surprise there. Is this the one that's usually more sensitive for you, or is it the right? Okay. Yeah. When we work the thumb meat, the left usually is more sensitive for her. And she's right-handed. She's holding that right-handed 10 and stuff. So interesting stuff. Glutes feeling okay, a little outer hip activation. Awesome. Let's get a little mobility. So we'll release this left wrist, get a little flex down and a little extension on up, and flexing it down and extending it up. Really nice. Again, just helping these forearms mobilize, giving them a little bit of that counterbalance. It's also where we're starting with that extension, not only preparing them for some moves like our down dogs, our planks today, but just giving them the counter position of where they are, that flexed over computer typing mode. Go ahead and take those little wrist circles now and allow this one to snap, crackle, and pop on you. As long as, there's no pain with that movement, just allow it to get that good fluidity to take it the other direction. And again, just helping to mobilize this here, letting these little like ovular circles of the wrist happen. And then we'll finish it again, just that little forearm tissue mobilization. So you're just taking your forearm, and using the right hand to just lightly traction the skin around those two forearm bones. So you're just kind of mimicking the spiral that is those forearms there and just helping to free up the tissues of that hand. Bring your arms by your side, glutes feeling pretty fired up here. You've been holding that for a while, so they should be feeling pretty good. But again, remember, you need to activate those glutes. We want to free up those hips. So we'll bring ourselves all the way down. 1, 2, and 3, and wiggle your feet back down onto the ground. Let's take this block on the narrow setting in between your knees here, and you'll bring your hands behind your head for just a little bit of core work. So interlace those fingers, pull those elbows on in. Let's support that neck, that nice long length that we got into it. Take a big breath in here. And again, gather in towards the body, feel your front line drawn to the back line, and just allow yourself to stay on the ground. So full exhale and squeeze into the block. Nice. So we're going to use that pulling into the abdominals to get a little lift here. Big inhale, fills it all up. And as you exhale, squeeze your block, feel that front line pull to the back line, and let your shoulder blades lift up off the ground. That is really great. Just a little low lift, little hover. We're feeling a big, strong pull into the core. It's looking strong there. Feeling a lot of fire? Good. She gives me the nod. Inhale and lower. Let's do one more just like that. So big inhale. As you exhale, gather in towards the center. I want you to feel everything gathering in. Awesome. Just like that. Those low ribs knitting in, and inhale and lower. Really, really good. Now let's add on a little bit. You're going to exhale, gather together, lift the shoulders up, and kick this left leg forward. So you're kicking this left leg forward, spreading the toes. Awesome. Bring the left foot down and then lower your shoulders on down. Really nice. Big breath in. Exhale, feel the gathering together. You're going to kick this right leg on forward and then feel those shoulders hovering off the ground. Nice, good pulling into the core. It's looking strong. Foot comes down, inhale and lower. Let's add on a little bit. We're going to put a little twist into it. So exhale, gather together, shoulders lift up, left leg kicks again. Spread those toes and now take a little twist towards this left leg. Awesome. So hovering off that left shoulder blade, come back through center, left foot lowers, inhale and lower. Big breath in, squeezing the block, core pulls in, draw together. We're firing ourselves up. Kick that right leg forward, take a little twist to the right, feeling our potential energy from within, tapping into it, not letting it get stuck within. Come back through center, left foot comes down, inhale and lower. Exhale, lift, gather together, shoulders lift up, kick that leg forward, take that little twist. Awesome, twisting to the left here. And then feel like you could pull your right foot back to your glute. Awesome. Bring your left foot down, come back through center, inhale and lower. Exhale, pull in the block, gather into the center, lift up, kick that right leg forward, take that little twist to the right, and feel like you could drag your left foot back to meet your left glutes. We're just firing up that hamstring a little bit. Bring that foot down, come back through center, inhale and lower. Let's get one more each way. So exhale, gather together, shoulders lift up, kick that leg forward, twist to the left, pull that right foot back. Awesome. Come back through center, foot lowers, inhale, up, exhale, gather together, squeeze that block, kick that right leg, twist towards me, take that foot, pull it on back on that left-hand side. Foot comes down, come back through center, inhale and lower. Really nice. So now we're going to take our block, use it for a little supine twist. Come all the way over onto your right-hand side and you'll let your right leg stay long. We're going to take your left knee and bend it and bring it just on top of this block so your shin will kind of be resting on it with the knee. Yeah, awesome. Is that comfortable for you? Good. And make sure you have just enough space with this wall behind us, but we're going to get you a little supine twist here. So you're going to reach the right arm out. We'll take the left hand on top of that right, and we're going to peel it open. So you're going to take it, spin it open, and then alligator, clap it. A really good cue is to feel like you're peeling a banana open with this arm, and then alligator, clap it shut. So we're adding a little thoracic rotation. Again, just think at that computer, making those reservations, taking those calls, doing the flow. You're the synergist. You make everything happen. You bring everybody together. So we're just letting all of that free itself up around the thorax, allowing this rotation around those ribs to really free everything up here, taking that energy and releasing it. Now go ahead and hold this open here. So we get a little thoracic opening. We're creating a little rest and restore. Just using the support of the spine to feel a full breath into the ribs. So really let yourself breathe some space into the rib basket here where we're opening up to. The gaze can just be anywhere that's comfortable. And again, we're just allowing ourselves to come into the moment, to use this movement to feel the body and to feel our way through the body and to create that movement in a meaningful way. One more full breath here. And you'll close off this left-hand side, bring it back on top of the right. You'll take it around to the other side. So take your time as you bring your legs through center. You'll come all the way onto the left side. Left leg will be long. And again, you'll bend that right knee. You use the block. Usually the medium height feels pretty good there to just kind of stack it up. And just to show, if you have 2 blocks, you could even use like 2 and 1 underneath that ankle. So again, we're going to use that little cue of just like you're peeling open a banana with that arm on top, and then let it clap alligator style and close it on shut. We got our dog cheering for Allie right now. So take a big breath in here. And again, we're allowing this rotation of the ribs to create just a little movement around that thoracic spine, right? Just think at that computer, we sort of get pulled into the screen, right? It's like a gravitational ray pulling us in. So allowing ourselves just to feel this pullback, getting ourselves a little bit of, again, that counterbalance, the mind, body balance, slowing down the mind, kicking up the movement in the body. Open it up one more time and let's find that stillness now for the body. And allow yourself just to breathe. And again, you can really feel the breath come into those side ribs. And let the rooting of the tailbone there create this length through the low back. This rotation is looking really good. It's strong and held together. She's keeping lots of space in the low back. I mean, the pelvis just looking neutral, really great. This is nice true thoracic rotation. She's worked hard on it. Bring it on back through center. You'll close off that right on top of the left. So we're gonna do just one more little core move here. I'm gonna have you come back onto your back. And what you're gonna do for me here, Allie, is come onto your forearms, pop on up. You'll have your feet down, and yeah, you can just send your blocks to the side there for now. So first, as you're on the ground here, I like to call this like fake pretend relaxing on the beach, because what we're going to do is going to still be a little bit of core work, but it has that cultivation, that feeling of being on the beach. And maybe that's a nice place you want to picture yourself right now. So as you're here, go ahead, do me a favor and grab the sides of your mat, and then feel like you could pull your mat apart. Really let that squeeze your shoulder blades onto the back ribs. Awesome. And then from here, you can ease up on that pull apart of the mat, but still feel that little squeeze into the shoulders. Feel like you could pull your throat into the back of the neck, and we're going to maintain that length through the back of the neck that we already created on the ground with our little block stretch. And then 1 foot at a time, you're going to kick your right leg out, spread the toes, bring that right foot on down, and then left leg kicks out. Spread the toes, left foot comes down, like a little can-can move, or you could even think like a coordinated swimmer's move, getting this little exhale as you kick. That can be helpful just to feel that drawing in, that connection to the core, supporting some of these hip muscles that are allowing us to get this full extension through into that leg. Using the inhale too to regather the breath, to breathe into that space. Strong core, we're going to activate that again, free some of that potential energy. That potential energy, when it's really firing for us, that core can move and breathe, and it's dynamic so that we can breathe, support ourselves. We're getting our movements to be a little more complicated as well. Awesome. And let's just go for a few more seconds. Give me like 3 more each leg. Awesome. And how are those feeling for you? More challenging than you expect, right? It's like, this is easy. What are you talking about? I can handle it. Awesome. Bring that left foot on down. Really great there, Alex. So let's come around on a quadruped, and we're going to set up our first arm balance of the day, being on our hands and knees. This is so important. So often we get so far away from crawling in our lives, and it's like coming back in, checking back in with it can really help us so much, especially when we think about our neck being a little bit restricted. So really great job here in this quad. Make sure that you're feeling your throat lift into the back of the neck, just like Allie's demoing very well for us here. We have the skull, the scapula, and the sacrum all in line. Use the exhale, and just like from before in the core work, feel the front line of the body lift and support you at the back line of the body. So it's almost like that belly button is pulling in towards the low back, but there's no actual movement of the spine. You just maintain that long length. And then come down onto the forearms. You're welcome to either have your hands parallel, tie them together, or you could always use a block in between the hands. So you sort of make like 2 L's in the corners there, wide setting, and wrap your arms in around it. Then from here, we're going to tuck our toes and allow the neck to really relax. So we're setting up for our dolphin pose, going to help to free our neck by activating our shoulders. Take a big breath here. And what we'll do first is exhale, push down to the forearms and allow your shoulder blades to really spread. So feel like you could take that heart and just kind of shine it all the way up towards the ceiling, like it had a spotlight coming out of the back of it. Continue to feel that inhale and continue to press down into the forearms, spread the shoulders and let the inhale fill up the whole back. Exhale, draw front line into back line, and first just hover the knees. Try that out and see how that feels for you. If hovering the knees feels good, extend the pelvis towards the ceiling. You don't have to straighten the knees out all the way. Instead, we're going to prioritize continuing to feel this strong press down into our forearms, the lift of the low ribs up away from the floor. So as you're pressing down, you're feeling that lift, so good, and extension. And we're allowing the hip flexion to become more for ourselves. Again, just because we're seated doesn't mean that that hip flexion always has a lot of space. And now let's just get a few marches going here. So we're going to lift one leg at a time. You lift your right leg into the air, bring it on down, and then lift that left leg into the air. Let your glute fire up. Really feel that that movement's coming from that glute extending, getting that firing. Awesome job there, and great job supporting those shoulder blades. You can even allow your neck to get some of those little rotations again. Like you were just saying no thank you to someone. Don't say no thank you to the movement. Get this movement in, but get that little nod into it and just give your neck that little bit of permission to release itself. This is so good. And again, really getting that space. This is awesome. Let's go one more time with each leg. So we'll send that right leg up, send that left leg up. Nice, really good. And then bring that all the way down, lower your knees to the ground. So we'll find a child's pose that feels comfortable. You can either sit the hips all the way back, or you can stay a little bit higher. If going back is not as comfortable, when I'm in that higher position, I like to take my forehead onto a block just to give myself a little bit of a massage there. And then we'll use our forehead and just get, again, a little nod from side to side. So you're just allowing yourself to get a little massage into those forebrow muscles. You know, think any kind of job where we have that time at the computer, you're going to be getting that, you know, work of the eyes, looking at that screen. And so just getting a little forebrow massage can help to get just a little bit of relief into that area. Again, nice little tip, beginning or end of the day, just allowing a little bit of length to come into the shoulders and allowing for that little feeling of reaching up and at the same time sitting back. Same thing as before. I feel like you could breathe into the whole back, expand it. And as you exhale, lift that front line into the back. We'll take one more breath here. And, you know, if what you need today is child's pose the whole class, Shavasana the whole class, you're always welcome to do that. But otherwise, we'll begin to get ourselves moving as we come to our quadruped. So with those hands underneath the shoulders, those knees underneath of the hips, we'll go ahead and take a big breath in here. Now, before you even go anywhere, I want you to really press down into the hands and feel like you could dial your left hand out to the left and your right hand out to the right. Let that really connect and glue the shoulder blades down and onto the back ribs. And then from here, take another big breath. And just like dolphin, you're going to push into your hands and allow the shoulder blades to spread. So get that protraction and release the neck a little bit, silencing some of those upper shoulder muscles, some of those muscles that might be used to gripping for you. You'll tuck your toes again, take another big breath in, continue to fill up the back, feel that spread of the shoulders. Now as you exhale, feel that front line lift in the back line again, hoist the pelvis up towards the ceiling. Use the hands pressing down into the ground to again feel that elevation of the ribs and feel like you could lift your forearms away from the floor. This is so good. Now we're going to stay in this down dog, breathe. I want you to push down to your hands. Think you could shrug your shoulders up to your ears. And now pull them down towards your hips. And you'll shrug them up to your ears and pull them down towards your hips. Yes, really good job with that shoulder movement. I know they've been feeling a little bit stickier for you lately. So shrugging them up. She goes, yeah, all of us. This time of year, right? The fall. A lot more time, some planning to do. We're all harvesting, right? We're all, you know, gathering those metaphorical, you know, squirrel nuts and burying them away, getting ready for the next year, planning. And continue to feel your whole hand press down into the ground. Let that knuckle support into the shoulders. We're just going to get 3 more of these. Good, really strong control. Feel that press up, let that free that neck. Awesome. Drag it down. Good. Take one more breath here in this down dog. And we'll begin to move. Exhale, step your left leg forward, bring your right knee down. 90-90 low lunge. We'll come to a little sun salutation. So inhale, reach the arms forward and up. You'll reach them up tall, feel that left glute working for you. Hands come down and step back for plank. So left foot meets the right. You're in that plank, palms pressing down. Lower the knees to the ground. Lower all the way to the ground. Head of the arm bones stay lifted. Inhale, pull back your hands in Cobra. Feel those shoulders on the back ribs. Push into the palms, up through plank, downward facing dog. Inhale and exhale, step the right foot forward, bring your left knee down, 90-90 low lunge. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. So just dropping some blocks off at the top of the mat in case you want them. You'll bring your hands to the floor or to the blocks, plant them on the ground or the blocks, step your back foot to meet your front foot, fold forward at the top of the mat. Inhale, rise all the way up, and exhale, hinge at those hips. Feel the hips hinge, knees bend, ankles flex, hands come down, left foot steps back, left knee comes down, 90-90 low lunge. Inhale, arms reach forward and up, hands come down, plank pose. We'll use that breath retention to lower the knees, lower all the way to the ground. Awesome, feel the head of the arm bones lifted there, great. Pull back the hands in Cobra, inhale. Push into the palms, up through plank and downward facing dog. You're welcome to use the knees in that push up. Always options to give ourselves more stability. Again, take a breath in here and then exhale. Step your left foot forward, right knee comes down. 90-90 low lunge. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Hands come down, exhale, hinge at the hips, step to the top of the mat. Rise all the way up. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Let's add on a little bit there. So hands come down, right foot steps back. Right knee comes down, 90-90, low lunge. We're gonna reach our arms all the way up and then tie your fingers together and see if you can flip those palms on up towards the ceiling. If flipping the palms up towards the ceiling, like Ali has there, is feeling a bit much for those shoulders, just punch them on up with like a rocket ship energy. So we're creating a little expansion here. As you inhale, let yourself really breathe into the sidelines of the ribs and then let the front ribs stay contained where they're not flaring out, but that we're really supporting that space in our low back, that area that might already be feeling a little short for us. And then bring the hands down, step back for plank, lower the knees, lower all the way to the ground, head of the arm bones stay lifted, pull back the hands, big inhale, draw the shoulders back, horizon, exhale, press into the hands, rise up through plank, downward facing dog. So good. Big breath in here. You can always have the hands on blocks to modify. Step your right foot forward, left knee comes down. Same move as before, left knee down, arms reach forward and up, then tie them together. You can again, either like rocket ship, punch, or get that palm facing up. So good here. Another big inhale, feeling those ribs lift. And this is so good. You're just containing those ribs, feeling those shoulders. Awesome. Get that reach up, creating a little space for the sides of the body, bringing that breath back in. Hands come down to the top of the mat. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Left foot meets the right. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, hands come down. One more time through sun salutation. Left foot steps back, left knee comes down. Goal post the arms. Inhale in that goal post, low lunge. Hands come down, step back for plank. Lower the knees, lower all the way to the ground. Awesome. Pull back the hands in Cobra. Inhale, push into the palms, downward facing dog. The left foot steps forward. The right knee comes down. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Goal post those arms. Awesome. Yes, so strong. Feel those shoulder blades like stapled onto the back ribs, like magnets. Hands come down, plant the palms, step your right foot to meet your left. Exhale, hinge the hips. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Let's add on a little bit. So exhale, hinge at the hips. Hands come down, right foot steps back, right knee stays off the ground and arms reach forward and up. You're in your high lunge. Go ahead and goal post those arms. Really feel those shoulder blades connect onto the back ribs. We're gonna take 3 breaths here. Full breath in, exhale, feel that front line pull into the back line. Try not to let, Ali's not doing this, but try not to let the elbows sink down. Really keep them in line with the shoulders. Again, you weren't doing it, but it's a good cue that you do normally see sometimes. Yeah, it's just the shoulder blades feeling a little sleepy. Big inhale here. And exhale. Hands come to either side of the pelvis. We're going to turn to the right and side lunge to the right. Press into your right foot, side lunge to the left. So for these side lunges, press into that foot, sit back in the hip. Really feel like you're pulling that leg bone back in space, giving a little bit of room to move with some freedom. Keep that spine long. And just like we did on the ground when we were holding ourselves on the mat, like we're trying to tear it apart underneath of us, feel those shoulder blades still connected to the back ribs. You know, it's not like you're holding a mat or anything, but there's still very much that sense of them holding you steady, staying in that alignment with the hips. Sit back into the right hip towards the back of the mat, and let's catch 2 breaths here. So really let yourself feel that sit back. Yes, this is so good. Feels evenly distributed through that foot. Awesome. You're doing really good with your hip flexion. This is great. And then we'll walk ourselves to the front of the mat, twisted crescent. So left hand will be inside that, right hand will be inside that left foot. And you're gonna have the right hand either on a block or the ground. Feel the pelvis is nice and neutral. We'll take the left arm, sweep it under the left leg, and almost give yourself a little hug. At the same time, you can press into that right hand and almost feel a little doming of the back. And then use that press of the right hand, release the left leg and rotate open to the left. So a little dynamic twisted crescent. Bring the left arm under and sweep under that left leg. So press back into the right hand, feel that rotation at the ribs, sweep that left arm under, give yourself that press and hug. Reach it up and extend, and then under, little flexion of the spine through that press of the hand. Feel that right shoulder blade on the back ribs. Really good job doing that connection to the hand. I love how you're getting that shoulder blade drawing back. So pull that shoulder blade back towards that back right foot. Awesome. One more time. Open it up. Just take one more breath in that open position all the way in. Maybe release your right ear to your right shoulder. Oh, you might have just gotten a neck adjustment. Bring your left hand down. Step your left foot back. Remove your right hand from the block if it's on there. Lower all the way to the ground. We're all going to meet on the floor. This is a wide cobra. So you can either have your forehead all the way on the ground or underneath of a block. Bring your hands for wide cobra in line with your collarbone. And we're going to pop up onto our fingertips and point our elbows up to the sky. So keep those elbows pointing up. Take a big breath here. I want you to feel like you could breathe into your whole low back. Root the tailbone down to the ground. Then exhale, lift your belly button up and into your low back space. Feel your shoulder blades squeeze together and draw them down towards the hips. Let's take 2 more just like that. Big breath in. Fill up the back, root the tailbone, exhale, keep rooting the tailbone, squeeze the shoulders together, free the neck by drawing the shoulders down. Another big inhale, exhale again, just giving ourselves a little counterbalance to maybe how we're having to hold ourselves while we work that money. All right, bring those arms by our side, press those palms down, rise yourself up to plank, downward facing dog. Big breath here in down dog. You may step or you can spring and give yourself a little coil spring, hop to the top. So coil springs, just a little triple flexion, little bounce and rise. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Let's hit that other side. Exhale, hinge at the hips, hands come down, left foot steps back, high lunge once again. So left knee is bent, but it's not down on the ground. We have a little lift to it. Left glute is working. Goalpost those arms and feel those shoulder blades really magnetized onto the back ribs. Big inhale here, fills up the whole torso. And as you exhale, front line pulls into the back line. Let's get 2 more breaths, just like that. So good. We're feeling that chest opening up here, getting that rooting of the tailbone and using that to really, again, gather that potential energy from the floor. Then from here, you're going to take your hands to either side of the pelvis, turn to the left, side to side lunges. So once again, we're working sitting back into those hips, feeling those shoulder blades draw down onto the back ribs. Feel the weight is even between the toes and the heels as well. If you notice you have a tendency, for me, I normally find I'm really sitting back in the heels. I've got to work to really grip my toes down into the ground. If you notice anything similar or opposite, maybe you're coming off those heels, see if you can kind of keep it a little bit more 50-50 between the two. Really challenge the entire musculature of the foot to activate for you, to spread, to awaken. Maybe you're in more compressed type of shoes while you're at work, and that could be a place that you're looking for a little more freedom. All good stuff to think about. How can I put a little bit more balance into any places that I might already be kind of tipped to one side of that spectrum? Let's sit into that left hip. And as we're sitting into the left hip, let a little length come into that right hip. So good here. Letting that femur bone trace itself back in space, and use the exhale again to lift into the front line of the body. You can make sure block's handy at the top. We're going to turn back to the front of the mat. Left hand comes down inside the right foot, dynamic twisted crescent. So pressing that left big toe, feel that left glute is active here for you. Feel a little bit more lift from this left. Yeah, that's good. And then take your right arm and sweep it underneath your right leg. So pressing your left hand and even allow that to like get a little doming, and then rotate open to the right. and reach that right arm up. Good. So you take the right arm under, that's when you'll press into the left hand. And yeah, get like almost a little press into the floor, and then you'll rotate open. You're still pressing into the floor, but you're allowing that rotation to happen. Right arm comes under, little doming, little rotation, press back in that left, rotate it open. 2 more times. Take that right arm under, feel a little doming. Awesome. And then almost borderline like a little like back extension feeling. You're going to get yourself leaning on that left shoulder. One more time. Open up here and let the left ear release to the left shoulder. Good. Feel that core hold you steady instead of the neck doing everything to hold you up. And then bring your right arm down. We'll remove the block from the left hand. Right foot steps back to meet the left, lower all the way to the ground. Wide Cobra. So again, hands come in line with those collarbones. Forehead can be all the way down. And if the head lifts off the ground just from the extension, that's fine. But really let your neck relax here. So big inhale here. Exhale, feel the front line, pull into the back line, root the tailbone, pull the shoulder blades back and together. I think you're trying to pinch this awesome cloth in between your shoulder blades. Big breath in and exhale. Feel it all pull back. Another big breath in. And then exhale, draw it together, down and back. So again, we just want to keep this neck nice and long, as relaxed as we can. It's working hard enough for us. Let's bring our arms by our side, press back into that plank, rise up through downward facing dog. Get into some sun salutation A's here. So we're just going to do about 3 cycles. If you want to do more, feel free to pause it and take more. Big inhale here. Exhale, make your way to the top of the mat. It can be a hop or a little step. Inhale, arms reach forward and up, rise up tall. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Hands come down, step or hop back to plank. Lower all the way to the ground. You can go with Cobra again or Locust by reaching the arms back. Really feel those shoulders pull into the back ribs. Push back into your hands, rise up through plank, downward facing dog. Take 1 big breath in here, really fill it up. Exhale, you can bend the knees, sit the hips back, come to the top of the mat, take a little step or hop. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Very good. Exhale, hinge at the hips, hands come down, plant those palms, step or hop back, plank pose. Lower, knees are not, all the way to the ground. Cobra or Locust, shoulder blades draw back, so good. Push into the hands, all the way up, downward facing dog. Let those knees bend, step to the top of the mat. Once again, inhale, arms reach forward and up. Yes, and exhale, hinge at the hips, hands come down, step or hop back, plank pose, lower, knees or not. So good there, nice control. Bring it back, inhale, and then push back into the hands, rise up, downward facing dog. Take a breath in, down dog. We're all going to arrive here. Big breath in and all the way out. Awesome. Just 3 times here. Let's get that shoulder shrug up to the ears, down to the hips, up to the ears, down to the hips, up to the ears, down to the hips. Now walk your hands back towards your feet. We're going to come to a nice high squat. So we're bringing our hips over top of our heels. Hands are going to slide up the legs, rise up tall at that long spine. And then bring your feet together. We're going to take a little staggered walk up to the top of the mat. So load your right leg first and bend the left knee. We're going to extend our left knee forward, step that left toe, left heel, and then like an airplane, you're just going to kind of tip forward. So you might be in an elevating airplane. You might be at cruising distance, either one. Pressing that left foot, right knee comes up. We're just working a little hip flexion. Right leg extends, right toe lands, right heel lands. Flex the right hip. Core is on, spread the toes, pressing that right foot, left knee comes up. And once again, last time, left foot extends, left toe lands, left heel lands, flex that left hip, work that right glute, just like Allie's doing here. You can buttress that right leg onto that left leg, pressing that left foot, drive that right knee up, single leg balance. So take a breath in here, feel that press down and that extension of that left leg. Make sure the left glute is holding you steady here. Option to then take your left hand to the right knee and maybe bring a little rotation. I like to keep my hand just right over the heart, or even a reach back can be really nice. Again, especially if you find that shoulder gets a little closed off for you during the day, it can be so good just to get that freedom, that reach out. All empowering here. This is looking so good. One more big breath in. And as you exhale, we'll go ahead, close that off. Step the right foot back and open up for warrior 2. So land your right heel down, arms reach out, left knee bends, little side body length. Big breath in here. Exhale, reverse your warrior. So left arm comes up, right arm can support you behind, good length. Inhale, come back through center, let that fill up the whole body. Exhale, left arm to left leg, right arm reaches over the right ear. Keep pushing the right foot, squeeze that right glute, so good. Come back through center, inhale, warrior two, left arm reaches up and reverse. Very good. Inhale, come back through center. Warrior two, left arm, left leg, and right arm shoots over that right ear. Good. Pressing the right foot. Feel like you could press your right glute towards my fingers here. Yeah. And then come back through one more time. Inhale, reverse. One more time. Exhale. Use that drawing into the front line to lengthen this left side. And then come back through center. Inhale. Left arm, left leg for a little support. Right arm reaches over. Pressing the right foot. It's a full side body stretch here from that right shoulder all the way down to that right hip. And then you'll pivot on the right toes. We'll close ourselves off. Lower the right knee behind the left ankle. It's a little seated transition, and then we'll face the back of the mat. So feet are together, facing the back of the mat, just like we did when we were leaning back. We're gonna get our shoulder blades really connected to the back ribs. So you'll get your hands by your side, and they could either face the same way as the toes, you could face them out to the side, you could even face them back. But what we'll do here is really keep the shoulder blades pulling onto the back ribs. So that's why I usually kind of like just like Ali actually has here, the fingers facing out. It's just a good way to keep that shoulder on. So again, feel like you could pull your mat apart, like you're trying to squeeze it and get those shoulder blades. And we're gonna press in the hands, press in the feet, and get a little extension of the hips. Root your tailbone towards your heels and keep the chin tucked in. A little bring down, tap, lift it up. Bringing it down, little tap. Lift it up. Let's get two more just like that. Really great job keeping these shoulder heads centered. So just like how you see here, Allie's keeping the shoulder heads in place. She's moving at the hips. One more time, bring it down, and then we can reverse it. So come around to the left, follow your right arm around, downward facing dog. It's like you just went around the world, around the world. All right, big breath in here. Exhale. 3 times shoulder shrugs. So you're gonna shrug those shoulders up to the ears, bring them on down to the hips. Shrug those shoulders up to the ears and bring them on down to the hips. Up to the ears, down to the hips. Walk those hands back for happy squat. Sit into the hips. Good, big breath in here. Exhale, bring your hands up the legs, stand up tall. So we'll start off loading that left leg, right knee comes up. Single leg balance, extend the right leg, toes land, heel lands, airplane. So send the left leg back. Remember dolphin, how we did our march. Use that left glute to feel that extension. Pressing the right foot, single leg balance. Left leg extends, left toe lands, left heel lands, airplane on the left leg. So right leg goes back. You can buttress that left leg with that right hand. It's a great way to stay supported. Feel your core, hold you up. Shoulders are part of that core. Bring it on back, left foot presses, right leg comes up. Extend your right leg, right toe lands, right heel lands, airplane, extend that left leg back. Left glute, let it work hard for you. Right glute's working too. Press into that right foot, rise up, single leg balance. So arrive here for a moment. You can even bend the right knee a little bit. It might challenge your stability some, but it'll help fire up some of those side hip muscles around the pelvis. And then option to take right hand to left knee. And you can rotate either with your hand on the chest, getting that little rotation through there, or you can, reach it on back. So you'd have maybe that's right, the one hand's on the knee and you're reaching that other arm back, or you're just resting it on top of your chest. Again, allow that breath to really fill up the whole body. Think 360 breath, bringing it all the way in, taking that moment and bringing it all the way back out. Come back through center, left foot steps back and open up to warrior two. Then left heel down, reach the arms out. And again, just like in goal pose, feel those shoulder blades connect on to the back ribs. Big breath in here, exhale, reverse warrior, right arm comes up this time, left arm goes down. You come back through center with that inhale, right arm to right leg, left arm reaches over the left ear and really work that left glute. Come back up, inhale. Right arm reaches up and reverse. Very good. Come back through center, inhale, right arm, right leg, and left arm sweeps over left ear. Work that left glute, extend that left hip. Back through center one more time and reverse. Right arm up. Good. Inhale, come back through center. Right arm, right leg, left arm reaches over. Pressing that left foot. Let it really be this full extension through the whole side body. And then a little transition, bring our left hand down, left knee down behind the right ankle and face the back of the mat. Uncross that right leg, step that left foot next to it. Hands are by your side. Again, you can give a little grab and pull apart of the mat. Let those shoulder blades really squeeze onto the back of the ribs. And then again, big inhale here. Exhale, press the hands, press the feet, extend those hips on up. Low reverse table. Bring it down and press, rise it back up. Good. Chin stays tucked in, just bring a little length into the neck. Hips extending, very nice. And even if you're not coming that high up off the ground, just let yourself feel that work come from the glutes. One more time. And then when you come down, You're gonna come left arm around to the right, downward facing dog. Lower the knees to the ground, lower the forearms to the ground, and we're going to extend and flex our spine. So feel like you could push into your forearms, spread your shoulder blades, release your neck, and root your tailbone down to the ground. Exhale. Then inhale, go the other way where you lift your tailbone, pull your shoulders back, and lift your gaze. So as you exhale, you'll tuck the chin in, push into the shoulders, root the tailbone. And as you inhale, draw back, extend the spine, lengthen it. Again, just this little active pelvic movement, active spinal articulation. So wonderful for us, especially if we find that we really get stuck in just one position throughout the day. Just giving a little bit of love to that spine, giving a little bit of that movement the whole way up. It's almost like a little wave as it comes into the ocean, rises all the way up to the coast, and then just letting it recede back out to that low tide. Awesome. We'll come back to neutral. Then you'll come back up onto the hands, tuck our toes. Once again, press into the palms, spread those shoulder blades so you get a little protraction. Exhale, lift the front line into the back line, hover the knees, and we'll come up to downward facing dog. Very good. Now I was belaboring the point. So go here, take another big breath in. You'll step your left foot forward and rise up to high lunge. As you rise on up, arms are reaching up. And then from here, let's all take our hands to either side of the pelvis. So for this move, we're in our high lunge. We're gonna load our left leg and just a little controlled kick forward of the right. So, there's a little bit of a swing action here, but I don't want you to feel like you're swinging out of control, just like we have going on here in the room. Feel your pelvis is steady, feel that core is on. The shoulders just sitting over top of the hips, finding that alignment again, just like when you started off on the ground, you had the floor helping you feel that balance of the spine, the spine through the skull, the shoulders, the sacrum. Feel that all now here as we're getting a little bit of movement into that hip. Maybe even kicking away whatever, lethargy has been stuck in the body from its stillness. Next time the right leg goes back, land it, open up to your goddess. So I want you to sit into the hips, externally rotate, and really plant those feet firm on the ground, just letting these hips find a little bit of space. Arms can be by your side, and we're supposed to roll the shoulders back one at a time. Really take your time here and allow for one shoulder blade to move up, back, down, and around, letting this freedom come into the shoulders and restoring just a little bit of movement to this area that can get a little bit stuck for us, can just get a little bit frozen in place. Again, it's just about checking in, right? Giving ourselves that mind-body balance, saying, how much have I moved that? Can I move it a little bit more? Where's my mind been all day? Can your movement help you still that mind a little bit, even if it's just a small one, like a shoulder roll at your desk? All right, so then from here, we'll slow our shoulder roll down. We're gonna come to our dolphin again. So windmill, hands come all the way back to the front of the mat. Palms land, and you'll step your left foot back and lower down onto the forearms. Big breath in here. No, send that left leg up if that feels good for you. Allie's a pretty advanced practitioner. She knows what she's doing. So yeah, send that left leg up if it feels good. Good. And let that left glute work here. Big breath in and exhale. I'll just adapt it in the class. That's what it should be. Why not? Send them to the three-legged dolphin. Let them get that hip extension. Lower your left foot down, lower your knees down. Cat-cow on your forearms or up on your hands. If that feels better, pull back with the forearms. Inhale and exhale. Feel that press. Release the neck. Spread the shoulders. Root the tailbone. This is so good. So, obviously either is fine. You could be on the hands or the forearms. It's really nice, especially when you work at a desk a lot, to come down onto those forearms because, like we've been working, she says yes. That's all you need. Yes, from the administrator, the executive administrator herself. One more time, spread it. But again, when we're stuck in that one position, just think all we're doing is we're just filling out the rest of that color by numbers, right? It's like we've only got the orange colored in right now. We're just putting the rest of the colors into this thoracic spine. All right, let's push up onto the hands, spread the shoulder blades, and again, we'll come to down dog. So hover the knees, hoist that pelvis on up, big breath in here. Exhale, step that left foot forward, right foot forward, sorry, and rise up for high lunge. Really good. Awesome. Bring your hands to either side of the pelvis And then load the right leg, just a little extension of that left. So we're holding just steady here, feeling that right glute work for us, spreading into the toes, using that right glute to feel that little elevation, that power. Again, check in with the hips. We're using the hands on the hips to feel that stable pelvis. Use that to connect in with the shoulders. Notice that the shoulders are going over the hips. Sometimes we can have a little tendency to sort of lean into that kick, but you're controlling it, keeping the shoulders back, keeping that skull over top of the shoulders, breathing with it. And again, just letting yourself kind of kick out anything that's stuck in that area. If something immediately comes to mind, picture it, kick it out, and then let that movement just sort of free it up. One more time, and then step that left foot back, open up to the left, goddess. So settle into the hips. We're rooting that tailbone to the ground and almost even using the hands against the legs to create a little traction here in the spine. And then again, you can roll the shoulders back one at a time. It can sometimes even feel nice to cup around the head of the arm bones and just add a little bit more range of motion into those shoulder rolls. So it's just one option there as you grab around it, or you might decide that just having your arms by your side feels better. So that's a great way to stay as well. And again, just going one at a time, moving it up to your ear, giving a nice retraction, pull in down to the shoulder, just giving it that little bit of counterbalance. And then we're coming to our dolphin. So dolphin or three-legged dolphin, windmill all the way back to the front. Land your hands. I like to frame out this front foot. So move your hands a little further back. Come down onto your forearms and dolphin right leg up into the air. Yeah, right. Feel how that's like kind of I don't know, a shorter distance to travel. Right leg is up. Glute is on here. Good. Big breath in. Feel those low ribs lifting away from the floor through the energizing of the forearms pressing down into the ground. Awesome. And then bring your right foot down. Lower your knees. Child's pose. You can bend the knees, send them wide, sit the hips back. Palms reach out and towards each other. You can massage the forehead down on the ground. So just a little back and forth there. Really good. Yeah, just using that little forehead massage to get just again that little bit of spaciousness into these areas around the neck. They can get so stuck, so rigid for us. Awesome. This is so good. Shoulders feeling okay so far? All right, nice. So we'll bring ourselves back up to quadruped. Once again, tuck those toes. Place that pelvis up to down dog. We'll step to the top of the mat. We'll all meet. So grab a little water, wipe off some sweat. We're gonna go through one more sequence to bring it all together. Again, working our body, doing a little bit of movement, using this movement to almost like conjuring a spell, you know, cultivate that stillness in the mind. When we're really moving, it's like, right, our body exists here in the physical realm. Physical realm is the right now, the present. It's not those plans, it's not those expectations. It's what's happening right here, right now. So we'll come to the top of the mat and we're gonna start it off with our rise up, step back to low lunge. As you inhale, reach the arms forward and up. Feel that length in the spine, reach those shoulders up to the ears. Hinge at the hips, hands come down, right foot steps back, right knee comes down, low lunge, 90-90, inhale, reach the arms forward and up. And then goal post your arms here. So we'll continue to breathe, but use this right glute, really active. And if it feels good, you can get a little extension through the spine. So you can get just a little lean back into those shoulders, like you're tipping back. And just like Allie's doing here, still keeping those low ribs contained. Yeah, really nice. So just getting that little lean back and that little containment of the ribs, or again, don't even have to lean back at all, but could just be holding, like I'll show you what that would look like. You'd just be holding it just really upright there. So one more breath here. And then we'll exhale, bring the hands to either side of the pelvis, pick up the right knee, turn to the right, and side lunge to the right. Side lunge to the left. You can keep your hands up by the hips here, like we did before, or if it feels good too, you can move a little lower down the legs, still keeping the containment of the core, and maybe even adding just a little more free rotation of the ribs. So again, letting our ribs free themselves to help to unlock anything that's been getting bound up, been feeling unbalanced lately. I'm gonna leave you with at least a block near the top of the mat for this next move. Sit back in your right hip, catch your breath there. Walk our hands back to the front of the mat, twisted crescent. Hold it here. So right hand will be down, Left hand can either reach up to the sky like we did before. You could also take it behind your skull. It's just a little reminder. Or you could bring your left hand to your back right glute to help lift your right glute up. If the left hand's behind the back right glute, really feel that pull back, yeah, onto that back left shoulder. That is so good there. And let your right ear fall to that right shoulder. Just encourage that little bit of release for the neck. Still feel like you could drag your right arm, your right hand back to your right foot. Let that really support that rotation open to the left. One more big breath here. And we're going to reverse our twisted crescent. So you might even bring the block a little closer to your left foot. Left hand comes down and right arm reaches up. As that right arm reaches up, good. You'll feel the hips still level. Feel that right glute's really working here. And just like before, you could again keep that right arm reaching up. I like sometimes here to bend my right elbow and just sort of kind of let my right forearm hang. Yeah, you can even face your palm the other way. I know it's like this, it's disorienting, I know. And then kind of like flex your elbow around my finger here, good. Can you just like hang that like a breakdance move? Does it feel good? No. Okay, it doesn't feel good, so we'll skip it. Pull back with that left shoulder, big breath in here. Does this feel good? All right, it's fine, I got the thumbs up. And then we'll bring that right hand on down, good. So now from here, remove that block from the left hand. This is different. Wiggle your left foot a little bit wider and lower your right knee down. It's gonna take a few lizard push-ups here. So keep that right hip lifted off the floor, bend the elbows and just get a little lowering and then extend those elbows. Bend them, get a little lowering and extend, bend, and extend. Nice. So just using a little active movement to free the hips up here. One more. Press, extend. Nice. Let's lift this right knee again. Step the left foot back to meet the right foot. Down dog. Hoist that pelvis on up. Walk your hands back towards the feet. Happy squat here. Sit into the hips. Let's take one breath here. Really grip with those fingertips. Release the neck. Yeah, full breath in. All the way out. Pull back with the hands, sit back with the hips, and then slide the hands on up the legs. Rise all the way up. One more time. We're going to stagger airplane walk. So load your right leg first. Bring your left knee in front of the left hip. Extend the left leg forward. Toe lands, heel lands. Flex your left hip. Extend your right glute. Really let that right glute hold you up here. Press in the left foot. Right hip flexes. Extend it. Toe lands, heel lands. Airplane. Send that left leg back. Right hand can be on the right hip just to really help control that flexion. Press in the right foot, bend the left knee. One more time, extend the left foot forward. Airplane, toe lands, heel lands. Extend that right leg back. Good. Feel that neutral pelvis holding you steady. Press in that left foot, bring that right knee all the way up. And then from here, you're going to take your option to take your left hand onto your right knee and take a little rotation. And just because I know you really like this pose, you could take this into half moon if you wanted to, but chances are teaching this to, just a mixed office, we came in for the first time, maybe if the group seemed like they were really into it, not, kind of up for that challenge, but otherwise we could always just stick with the single leg balance. Really good. And then land your right foot down, come to that warrior toe. So just one time here, big inhale. Exhale, reverse, left arm comes up and right arm releases to right shoulder. Come back through center, inhale, left arm to left leg and right arm takes over right ear. Now stay here and start to backstroke your right arm up, back, down, and around. Take 3 more just like that. You can even let your gaze fall towards your left foot there if that feels good. And then the next time this left arm comes up and around, you're gonna land the left hand on that block inside your left foot, land your right hand on the block inside your right foot. And I like to go highest height with this, but if you want to go medium height or anything like that, that can be good too. So we're going to take our left toe, turn it to the side of the mat, sit back in your right hip, and you'll keep your hands on your block. So as you bend your right knee, you'll sit back into the right hip and you'll straighten this left leg. So change the legs. Oh, and then keep the block up by your foot. Yeah. So you'll keep your hands there, perfect. And then sit back into this hip and straighten this leg. Oh yeah, that's it. Now sit back there and reach over that right arm through that right ear. And then, just like you're doing, even keep that left ear, come to that left shoulder. I'm gonna give you this other block, grab hold of that. Yeah, good. Do you feel a nice big stretch here through the side? Good. So take that big breath in. One more breath here. and then walk your hands back to the front, lower the right knee down behind the left ankle, seated spiral. So we can sit here for a moment instead of a fake out transition. If your hips aren't comfortable all the way on the ground, just like Allie has there, you can always take a block and sit it up just like I have here. And then from here, just allow yourself to settle, hands by your side. Let's take about 3 breaths. Big breath in and all the way out. Feel the shoulders pull back, feel that skull align with the shoulders. One more full breath here. Then we'll uncross left ankle from the right leg, turn to face the back, table set up. Hands can face just fingers pointing out towards the sides of the mat. Squeeze those shoulder blades on the back ribs. And then 3 times here at least, we're gonna press into the hands, press in the feet, extend the hips. You could do a little exhale, root the tailbone, lower it on down. Little tap, press, and extend. Good, nice tuck of the chin. Tap, press, extend. You can hold this one. Let's take 3 breaths. Big breath in and exhale. Feel that support through that root of the glute. Another big inhale here. So we're just opening up the chest, giving ourselves that counterbalance from what we may be experiencing during the day. And one more, and then lower your hips all the way down. Keep turning to the left. Right hand comes around, downward facing dog. Big breath in here. Step your left leg forward, high lunge, inhale, arms reach forward and up. And now here, let's check in with a little lancer. So right arm up, left arm make a fist, bring it down onto that back right glute. Feel your right glute lifting up into your left knuckle. It's so good here. Keep reaching that right arm up. This is awesome. And then from here, we can free that left hand from behind the right glute. And we can again begin to extend and flex that leg. And now you can kind of do it like, we're getting into the winter. So think like the Nutcracker, like toys, soldiers or something like that, little tin men. And if it feels like a lot to coordinate your arms and your legs, feel free to stick with the first motion that we had with hands on the pelvis. We're just gonna do about 3 more. Step that right foot back, extend it. You're just adding the arms in, getting this full body movement. And then when the right foot steps back, open up to goddess. Hands can come back to either side of the pelvis. So settle into the pelvis, sit into the hips. We're gonna bring our hands together and again, either punch it up like a rocket or face those palms on up towards the ceiling. So the key here will be to sit down into the hips and reach up with the arms. And it's like we're trying to make ourselves taller. There's so much of a counter pull going on. Big breath in, great job feeling that frontline support. You can feel your back just like lengthening, it's awesome. One more big breath. Hips looking good too. And then release that interlace, turn to the front of the mat, hands land, frame out your front foot, come down on those forearms, 3-legged dolphin, forearms come down, left leg up, march that dolphin, left leg down, right leg up, right leg down, left leg up, left leg down, right leg, we got this, right leg comes down, left leg down, right leg, and then right leg down, knees down, whoo, press back up onto those hands, tuck the toes, hoist the pelvis up, and come to the top of the mat. We got one more side. Let's do it. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Hands come down. Left foot steps back. Low lunge, 90-90. Inhale, arms reach forward and up. Goal post those arms. And as you goal post the arms, you can really activate that left glute, make sure it's working for you, and you can start a little lean back into the shoulder blades. So just a little spinal extension here, still holding your core strong. Does it feel good to lean a little bit further back even? Yeah, so A-okay to get that extension there. That is awesome. Another big breath in here. Again, lift the ribs. Exhale, feel that front line pull to the back line. Bring your hands to either side of the pelvis. Pick up the left knee, turn to the left, side lunge to the left, side lunge to the right. Feel that weight still equally distributed between the toes, between the heels, getting that move back of the femur bone. Again, you could add a little bit of a lowering and a rotation of the spine if you want to free that up a little more. I like to think of it like, blades of grass in the wind. Yes, nice job freeing that up. And then one more time, sit back into the left hip. Breathe in here. Walk your hands back to the front of the mat, twisted crescent. You can bring your left hand on top of a block inside that right foot. So press into that left glute, rotate open to the right. We'll be holding this one. Right arm can be up behind your head or down at the back. When your hand's behind your head, it's very helpful just to really pull your shoulder back so it can even get more stretch into the side of that neck. Awesome, this is good. Just keep pushing into that left glute. Yeah, that's the lift. And feel like you could drag your left hand back to your left glute. Let that shoulder blade really support you. One more big breath here. And then to reverse our twisted crescent, you're gonna bring your right hand down inside the right foot and maybe probably move that block a little bit closer to your foot. So then lower your right hand down on the ground. and your left arm comes up. An option to bend your left elbow and just kind of hang your left forearm out in space. Otherwise, just reach your left arm up, get that nice big extension. The great thing about the second side is usually you've already tried out the options on the first side. So you're like a pro at that point. You're like, yeah, I know what I like. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't try out something on the other side. Give it a try, you know. You might find that the other side does just fine with it, whereas maybe, you know, who knows? We're all a little different. We're just trying to find balance in this mind-body balance class. All right, bring your left hand down and then wiggle your right foot over, lower your left knee down. We're gonna do that lizard push-up. This is a brand new move. Lower that left knee down. Keep this left hip lifted away from the ground. A little bend to the elbows and straighten. So as you bend those elbows just a little bit and straighten them out, we're just feeling a little bit of space freedom into the hips, getting a little hip opener and helping to free those shoulders up too. One more time. Good. Now lift your left knee, step your right leg back, downward facing dog. Walk your hands back towards your feet. High squat. Fingers reach out, grab the floor, sit your hips back. One big breath in here. Exhale the front line into back line, and then slide your hands on up the legs. Stand up tall. Load your left leg, bring your right knee up in front of your right hip. We're gonna extend that right leg forward, land the toes down, the heel down, and then airplane. Flex your right hip, extend your left leg back. Pressing that right foot, single leg balance, extend the knee, load the toes, heel, single leg balance, right leg goes back, glute is on. Pressing that left foot, bring that right knee up, extend that right leg, toe lands, heel lands, extend that left leg back, airplane. And one more time, pressing the right foot, rise up, single leg balance. Our options, stand facing the front, grab your knee, twist it open to the left, or you can take it to that half moon, right glute's working, drive that left heel back. You can keep the hands on the hips. You could always support your right arm on your right leg, like a little buttress, or you could go freestyle there. Allie has there, flying. Nice, good catch. Work that right glute, squeeze it. Good. Yeah, she does got it. All right, left foot comes down. We made her laugh. Left foot comes down. Warrior two. That's probably the best practice you can do when you're working at the desk. Big inhale here, one time, exhale and reverse. Good. Come back through center, warrior two. And right forearm, right thigh, left arm reaches over and backstroke it. So let that right ear fall to that left shoulder. Backstrokes here. Awesome, keep going. Nice. One more time, and then land your hands on that block. We're gonna pick up our right toe. Turn for a sideline stretch. So right toes face the left, sit back into the left hip, like a side lunge that we did earlier, but we're keeping our hands up by that right foot. Even bring your right ear to your right shoulder and think of it like one big side body stretch of the left side. So your left hip, your left ribs, your shoulder, even your neck, all getting a stretch. One stop shop. Big breath in here to the left ribs. Stay for the exhale. Walk your hands back to the front of the mat. And then from there, you're gonna go ahead, land those hands on down. Sorry, brain fart real quick. Big breath in here. And then we're gonna go ahead and land that left knee behind the right ankle. Seated spiral. So this is a little bit different. Instead of transition, we're gonna come all the way down onto our hips. And then from here, you can have the hands by your side. So big breath in here. And exhale, very good. Just letting those shoulders draw on down, letting the mind still here from all that movement in the body. Just notice what maybe is different, what space you've maybe cleared for it. You know, uncross the right ankle, face the back of the mat, feet are down, arms by our sides. So again, you can face those palms back, out, in. Make sure the shoulder head feels nice and centered. Push into the hands, push in the legs, exhale, extend the hips up. Good, bring it down with a little tap. And then extend it, nice, little butt bump tap, extend it. You can hold this one, root your tailbone. Big breath in here. Good, so good with those shoulders. Awesome, great support. One more. Lower the seat all the way down. You're gonna keep going to the right. Reach your left arm up and turn to downward facing dog. Last 3 moves. Step that right foot forward, rise up for high lunge. We're gonna do that Lancer where the left arm reaches up. That right hand comes around to that left glute, activate it, work it. And you can free that right hand from that left glute, yep, as you kick it on out. And then you can use that left arm. So it just goes opposite with the left leg. As the left leg goes forward, the left arm cranks down. As that right leg goes forward, that left arm reaches out and forward. And you can just kind of feel like you're in the nutcracker here. Who knows? Maybe we'll get to go see it this year, right? Hopefully. All right, big breath in. And then step that left foot back, open up to goddess. So let's arrive here, settle after that movement. You can stay here, just sitting the hips down, option to bring the hands together, punch that fist up or face your palms up towards the ceiling. Keep sitting down into the hips, good. And at the same time, like a little counterbalance, reach those shoulders up to the ears. Let's take 2 more breaths like that. All the way in, exhaling. And 1 more. Release the hands, windmill. Frame out your right foot, 3-legged dolphin. Forearms come down, right leg goes up. March it, right foot down, left leg up. This is it, left leg down, right leg up. Right leg down, left leg up. 1 more time, right leg. 1 more time, left leg. Both legs down, lower to the ground. Whoo, pop up onto your hands. And let's just lower all the way. Forearms under the forehead. Bend the knees, windshield wiper your legs from side to side. Let's get this little release. You're fine. So we're just letting those hips free themselves up now, collecting that breath after that vigorous movement of the 3-legged dolphin. How's it feel?
Great.
Great. Oh, nice. So feel free to take this a little longer just for the sake of our video and everything. We'll just do another full breath. And then very gently, you're just going to allow yourself to come onto your back. So I just like to follow one of my arms around and we'll come down. Now, like we did before, if you're comfortable with your head all the way on the ground, you can keep it like that, or you could also try block underneath of the skull. So whatever you like better there. All right, she's cool with it. Whatever. Walk your feet on in and cross your right ankle over your left leg. We're doing a little figure 4 stretch here. So we're going to roll that left hip or that right hip out to the right hand side, keeping that left hip just kind of connected into the ground. And you can either have your arms by your side. You could also bring one hand onto the right leg, one hand onto the left leg, and sort of act like you could pull them apart just a little bit. That's just a nice way to kind of create a little activity, but it's just an option. If you'd much rather just keep your arms by your side and breathe with this, I encourage that. We'll take about 2 more breaths here. Again, feel free to stay a little longer if you like, but otherwise we'll just kind of keep this a little more compact. How's that right hip feeling? Good. Uncross it and we'll take it to the other side. So take that left ankle, cross it over that right, roll that left hip out. And again, we're just allowing that hip to stay connected to the ground, just creating a little bit of length to the back of the neck. And just helping you find a little bit more of that just release position, helping the tissues just know that they can relax. Sorry, that was ticklish. Noted, ticklish. Inhale and exhale. Then uncross that left ankle. It's really nice just to come back, check in with a little thoracic rotation. So go ahead and send your left leg long, and let's bring your right knee on top of this block again. And this time you'll reach the left arm out, bring the right arm on top of it just one time. So starting off in this position here, you're going to peel that right arm open and hold it open. Good. And again, we'll take about 3 breaths here, just allowing that breath to come in. Good. Low ribs fill up the whole right side of the rib basket. Again, neck can just be anywhere that's comfortable. We're up on the block here just to help a little bit of extension, a little more length to the back of the neck. And feel free to stay here a little longer. Otherwise, we'll go very slow, closing off our right side. And then you'll bring yourself through center. I'll take your block so you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, and then bring it around. Your skull still be on the block. You'll bring your right leg long, your right arm out in front of you like you're going to shake someone's hand, and your left arm will come on top. Then your left knee is bent, just like we did in single leg balance, and it's just resting on top of that block. Then peel the left arm open to the left, rotate. Good. Awesome. Sending that long, letting it breathe. Really let yourself fill up this whole left side of the rib basket. Notice if anywhere the breath gets stuck, and then see if you can just sort of invite a softening around there. Excellent. And so let's go ahead and very slowly, again, you're welcome to stay longer. Bring yourself back through center. And then you can either keep the block under the skull, or would you like to remove it, keep it under? All right, nice. She wants to keep it. Good. And you can either keep the feet locked in, or you can let the legs go long on the mat, whatever feels really good for you there. You can let the arms rest on the body or long by your side. Since we have some extra, I'm just gonna secure a block under your legs. And so taking this breath in, and feeling this shavasana. So just taking a little bit of time, again, to settle in, to find this stillness. So often we're moving, thinking about the future. What's next? What do I have to plan? What needs to be canceled or rearranged? And this is for you. This is your movement, serving your body, not anybody else, for your time, to help still that mind so that we can remember what that calmer, stiller mind is like, even when we may, just from the necessity of the situation, be a little bit more stuck in one position and having to think a little bit more out of the present and into the future, but also having that balance where we can come back into the present moment, check in with ourselves. Again, just allowing any softness that can come into the body to come in here. Just gonna give you a little wrist massage. Yeah, there's something in there. We'll keep working on that. Totally. That's the problem with them. All right. So you are welcome to remain in Shavasana for longer. But otherwise, take a big breath all the way in. Acknowledge this moment and then let it go. because that's also being in the moment, is being able to move forward with the moment. Maybe wiggle the fingers and toes, and as you inhale again, you might reach the arms up and overhead. One more time, you could tie the hands together and face those palms up. Point the toes, side out, release it all, and then slowly gather your limbs back in towards your torso. Like you're giving yourself a hug, thanking yourself for making this time to move in this way. And slowly make your way up to a comfortable seated position. Whatever that means for you, that might mean sitting flat on the ground. You might sit on the legs. Again, for me, I really like to just bring my seat up onto a block, and we'll let ourselves just feel this alignment, how this connection to the core, creating a little bit of heat, a little bit of stability within the body, helps us to really get this stacking the shoulders, the hips, the skull, all in alignment. We'll take another big breath in. And as you side out, we'll smooth down and out. Another full breath in. And just allow it to go. Using this movement of the body to find this stillness, breathing in, acknowledging this spot of our present, and exhaling, letting it go, and being able to move on. And so I bow to the space within you, and I thank you and all the administrators out there who are doing the work that keeps the world running, keeps these businesses running, and you deserve that love, that respect, and that care. So namaste to you and everybody doing that job.